So I guess just kind of jumping right into it, we'll just start with all of the agents. And like I said, there are 9 of them, and we'll just each one, we'll go from left to right. But I guess all the names. The first one is Breach. The second one is Brimstone. We have Cypher. We have Jett, and I think most people that I played with just every game somebody just insta locked Jett. I played the most out of Omen, and I kind of like Omen. He's pretty cool. He's kind of like a lurker. Can kind of teleport around. He's pretty good. I also played a lot of Phoenix. He's pretty cool too. Then you have Sage, who's the Resurrect girl. You have Sova, which is obviously the guy that shoots wall hacks, and then you have Viper, which is the poison woman. So I guess just starting off with Breach. I haven't played that much Breach. The people that are really good at Breach are really powerful though. And I guess just kind of going through each individual ability that all of the different agents have. His first one, again, when you actually get access to the game, all you have to do is press F1 and it'll kind of just bring up, kind of like an Overwatch, how it tells you what each thing does. And I know the left side most one is cut off a little bit, but it's fine. I guess the first thing to mention about abilities that you have is every ability can be bought every round. When I say everybody, I mean there's 2. So each agent has 2 abilities you can buy every single round you want it. And then they have, each ability has a signature ability, they call them, which is they have access to this every single round. And then it recharges during the round, whether it's based on kills or based on just a timer. And they have an ultimate. And so the way that abilities work is your ultimate, you can kind of see how there's those, 6 or 7 dots underneath the actual ultimate thing, which is right here. You see these right here. Those kind of recharge every single round. To my understanding, to my knowledge, every kill you get 1 point towards your ultimate. Anytime you defuse the bomb, you get a point to the ultimate. Anytime you plant the bomb, you get a point towards your ultimate. And I believe every time you die, you get a point towards your ultimate. So there's also orbs on the maps that you can pick up to give you 1 point towards your ultimate. So theoretically, and I was in a game yesterday. Unfortunately, I didn't get the footage of it, of course. But I aced pistol round, so I got 5 kills, and then I defused the bomb. So right after the first round, I got my ultimate. And like everybody's ultimate either costs 6 or 7 points to get your ultimate. So realistically, if you're just owning, you drop like a 30, 35, 40 bomb, you probably can get 3 ultimates, maybe 4 if you get the orbs and you're defusing a lot. But realistically, you only get it like probably 3 times a game. For the most part, most people have like 2 or 3 times a game. So that's kind of what you have to expect with it. Another cool thing is if you press tab, which is the scoreboard, it'll tell you how many points each person has towards their ultimate, so you can kind of prepare for other people's ultimates, and you can see how how close your teammates and enemies are to actually getting their ultimate. So it's kind of a cool thing. But anyway, let's keep talking about the abilities. So again, we're playing Breach. Again, pressing F1, his C, which is called Aftershock, and again I apologize, cut off. It says equip a fusion charge, fire the charge instead of slow acting burst through the wall. The burst does heavy damage to anyone caught in this area. So if you press C, it kind of gives you like this arm. And unfortunately, there's no radar in this mode again, but you can kind of it basically shoots a damaging thing through the wall, and you can clear corners with it. It's actually really good if you're good with it. So like if there's a guy camping in this corner right here, and you want to be able to just like clear this corner without having actually to clear it, you can literally shoot this through the wall. And it'll clear this whole corner. And if I don't know how much damage it does, but it does a lot. Like, you don't want to stand in it, or I don't want to say you're going to die, but it's going to do most of your health. I guess it's also worth saying that every ability costs something differently. So usually it's between 100, it's either 100, 200, or 300. Anyway, his next is his Q, which is a flashbang basically. Just reading it again, equips a blinding charge. Fire the charge instead of fast acting burst through the wall. The charge detonates to blind all players looking at it. So again, it's kind of the same thing with his C, where his Aftershock ability, where you shoot it through a wall, and it basically goes through the wall, and it'll flash, you know, wherever you want it to flash. So if you can get good at it and you learn flash, like obviously if it's red, it's not going to work. It won't let you. But you can walk forward and, you know, you can see when it goes there. You can see just through the wall where it went. So I feel like, you know, you can see it flashes right here. And if you're looking at it, it like full flashes you. So it's really, you know, it's a really cool thing to be able to have. I feel like it gives a lot of outplay potential because you can throw flashes in like really weird ways. And people, you know, like you can throw a flashbang to the left and just like swing to the right, and it makes them, or I guess you would throw a flashbang to the left and swing left to make them look at it, and you just swing out and try to kill them. I think it's really cool. It's, you know, again, a very high outplay potential, and yeah, these abilities, everyone C and Q, you can only buy them once at the start of the round. So you can see down here at the bottom that Q actually has, right here, you can see that Q actually has 2 charges. You can see there's, you know, a little splitter, like a split in the bar. So this actually has 2 charges. His C actually only has 1 charge, so you can only use it once a round. His flashbang you can use up to twice a round if you buy them. And then his E is the thing that recharges every single round. It's called Fault Line. Equip a seismic blast, hold to fire to increase the distance. Release to set off the quake, dazing all players in the zone and in a line up to the zone. So basically you can charge it, and it goes really, really, really far. You can kind of see based with the yellow lines how far it goes. We'll just bring it back so you can see the difference. So you see how, you know, how far the yellow lines go here. If you hold it down, you can see how much further it goes, and it goes straight through walls. And if they get hit by it, it dazes them. It makes them move really slow, and like kind of blurs their screen. So, you know, again, this guy is all about being able to shoot things through walls and clearing angles without actually having to peek them at all, right? This guy's ultimate is kind of cool as well. Again, it's not global, but it's really, the range is really, really long. I guess you can kind of see, let's use this. You can see how far the yellow lines go. And this basically, I guess we'll read it. It's called Rolling Thunder. Equip a seismic charge. Fire to send a cascading quake through all terrain in a large cone. The quake dazes and knocks up anyone caught in it. So I wish it gave you a radar in this mode. Unfortunately, it doesn't, because on the radar itself, it'll actually show you exactly how far it travels. But if you use it, you know, look what happens. So it's a line, and if you get hit by this line, it knocks you up. It stuns you for like a second. It knocks you up, and then it like fully dazes you. Your screen gets all gray, it gets all blurry, you shoot slower. It kind of reminds you of like getting half flashbanged as far as a visual effect, but then, you know, again, your sound gets messed up, you shoot slower. It's really good. I feel like if a really good breach player that's really good at using all of his abilities and knowing, you know, which corners to clear and the flashes to throw, and, you know, the coolest thing about this guy's ult is that when you use it on somebody that's either planting or defusing, it actually cancels the plant or the defuse. So there's a lot of times where, you know, somebody plants the bomb, and, you know, if it's a breach in a 1v whatever, he'll try to delay as long as he can, and he'll just throw his ult out onto the bomb to clear the bomb fully, because, you know, like I said, it cancels the bomb completely, and then it will, you know, it adds for some kind of cheesy outplay, but also, you know, if you're willing to spend your ultimate, then I guess it's, you know, it's worth it. The good thing about all the abilities and ultimates in this game, though, is that you don't really, almost every single ability and every single ultimate, there's always a way you can outplay the ability, you know? Like with this guy's ult, if you're on the other team, you can see it coming on the radar, so you can just kind of run out of it, you know? With his C, which is the corner clearing ability, you can throw it, and you have a lot of time to move, right? Like if you're standing here, it'll show you that it's about to hit you, so you have a lot of time to run away from it. And his flashbang, you know, you can hear it coming through the wall, and you can see it, like it actually flashes. I will show it again. Like you can see that it gives you time to be able to turn away if you want to. And even his E too, it takes some time to charge up. Like it's not just instantly, right? You can see it on the floor, it charges up. So pretty much every agent is like that. Almost every ability, there's always, you know, The game is not really revolved around that many of the abilities. I mean, sure, there's different agents that have, you know, vision blocking things and walls and slows, but for the most part, there's almost always a way for every single ability to either outplay it or to be able to dodge it. Our next agent we have is Brimstone. His first ability is called Stim Beacon. If you look down here, you can see it actually tells you the price of everything here too. So his Stim Beacon costs 100, his Incendiary costs 200, and then I guess you actually do have to buy this guy's smokes. I think this is probably the only E that you actually have to buy. I don't think there's any other E's you have to actually buy. But anyway, his C is called Stim Beacon. It says equip a Stim Beacon. Fire to toss the Stim Beacon in front of Brimstone. Upon landing, the Stim Beacon will create a field that grants players rapid fire. So this is without the Stim Beacon. And then when I run into it, you can hear how much faster you shoot, right? Okay, so that's without the Stim Beacon. Like you can tell like the speed of fire increase, right? And now that goes for your entire team. And the cool thing is that it actually goes for the entire enemy team as well. His Q is then called Incendiary, which is essentially the same thing as a Molotov, right? You can you Q and you throw it. It bounces a couple times, like there's a timer, and then, you know, again, the thing about abilities in this game is that it actually, your friendly abilities will harm your teammates again. So if you throw this and you chunk it, you know, if you ever watch my stream, you ever watch me play CS, I frequently miss grenades, but, you know, say you chunk it and you bounce right back at you. When it bounces, it'll actually do damage to yourself and your team. So, you know, you need to be careful with that. And then his E, which is just basically just smoke bangs. It's called Sky Smoke. Equip a tactical map. Fire to set locations where Brimstone smokes clouds will land. Alternate fire to confirm. Launching long-lasting smoke clouds that block vision and select air. So basically, you press E. Okay, it actually will work. And then, you know, you can see this is me right here. So if I wanted to smoke off this choke, and we'll say this choke, and then you right-click, it'll actually shoot smokes from the sky, and it'll smoke everything that I hit. Finally, his ultimate's called Orbital Strike. Equips a tactical map. Fire to launch a lingering orbital strike laser at the selected location, dealing high damage over time at players caught in the selected area. Press X. You know, it's kind of the same thing as the smoke, where you can kind of just pick wherever you want the thing to go. For the most part, this ability was, every time I saw it used, it was mostly as a diffuser denial. So, you know, you're in a 1v1 and you delay this guy out and he has to hold the bomb. You can just throw your ult on the bomb and you just win the round like easily. Don't even have to peek. Again, you have a lot. You can see. You saw the delay there. Like you have a lot of time to run away from it. Like, you know, you definitely have enough time to run away from. Even if you're directly in the middle of it and it starts coming on you, you can just literally just run out. Literal 0 damage from you. And just running into it initially is not going to kill you. Like the initial blast doesn't kill you. It does damage over time. So even if you do take like a tick of damage from it, it's not going to instantly kill you. But it's still pretty cool ability. You can clear corners with it, clear angles with it. Again, it most of the time I saw it used to either stop a bomb plant late into the round or just like guarantee the clutch, right? You just throw it on the guy defusing when it doesn't have any time, and then you just win the round. All right, and next up on the agent list is Cypher. Now he's a Sentinel, and Sentinel to me is the true support class. They're the true, you know, their abilities are not aggressive at all. Their abilities are all about supporting, all about using their abilities in a defensive way. Sometimes aggressive if you can, but you're not going to really use these abilities to like get an entry kill. You're not really going to use these abilities to be able to run in first with them or anything. So his abilities are Trapwire, Cyber Cage, Spycam, and Neural Theft. So Trapwire, which is a C, and you can see again the cost of this is 200. You can see right here, and you can see right here that he gets 2 charges of it. So you can buy it twice and he'll have 2 charges. So it's equip a trapwire, fire to place a destructible and covert tripwire at the targeted location, creating a line that spans between the placed location and the wall opposite. Enemy players who cross a tripwire will be tethered, revealed, and dazed after a short period if they do not destroy the device in time. This ability can be picked up to be redeployed. So basically, it's like a trap you can place on the wall, and you don't really get to pick that much where the trap links to. It's just directly opposite of it. So like if I wanted to put one here, it'll just make one to right here. And the cool thing about this is that this trap is actually completely invisible to the other team unless they know you placed it there or they're aware you placed it there and they walk up. It'll like you hear that noise. When you hear that noise, you can see it as the enemy team. So if the enemy team's aware that you're placing traps, they can walk up and they'll see it and they just shoot it. And you can also, obviously, if you walk up to it when you're playing Cypher, you can just press F and you can actually take it back, and then you get the charge back. This hero is very, very annoying to play against if you're really good at it. You know, a lot of people will just keep throwing their tripwires in different locations, so it's hard to know. And it's worth mentioning, if you're just running, if you run full speed into one, it will never appear. So the only way you'll actually see this is if you walk and you get close enough and you stop. So you can even tell just based on the sound. Like if I'm running from a distance, you don't actually hear the sound until you're already hit by it. So as opposed to if you walk up to it, you see how much time you actually have to react and be like, okay, we're not going to get hit. The big thing about it too is if you get hit by it, it slows you by a lot and it shows your location. Like you literally are wall hacked to the entire enemy team. So it's really important that when you play against this agent that you take corners pretty slow. You take the time to make sure you clear all this stuff, and you don't just reveal your location. It's also very good on attacking as opposed to defending. I mean, obviously on defense you just place them in chokes and they have to run into them. But on attacking, it's very good to cut off the flanks too, right? If you're going to be rushing into a bomb site or something, and say this whole area is a bomb site and you're coming this way, you can almost completely nullify one of the flank routes by just throwing this here. Because, I mean, they have literally two options. They either take the hit, and, if they take the hit, well, you see them through the wall. Or if you have somebody that's just like kind of in the area that's close by, you can hear it because they have to shoot it, right? And so you can hear the thing getting blown up. So it's really, really, really powerful on coordinated teams to be able to have tripwires in high movement and high traffic areas, because it's almost always going to give you value almost no matter what happens, even if it never, even just having it stay there, that nobody's flanking. It's a guaranteed that nobody's flanking. So it's really good. The only other thing that I can say is that I'm not really sure. There's a couple abilities. There's a couple agents that have teleports. I didn't actually get a chance to try and see if you can actually teleport through it without getting hit. I'm going to go ahead and assume you can. So I guess that's kind of like the outplay to the counterplay to something like this. But at the same time, they have to get so close and walk around that, yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, moving on. His Q is Cyber Cage. And again, this is another ability where he gets 2 charges of it. You can see down here. Costs 100 per charge. And it does a Cyber Cage. Fire to toss the Cyber Cage in front of Cypher. Equipped to create a zone that blocks vision and slows enemies who pass through it. So this is basically like an on-demand smoke. You throw it down and it's invisible. They can't see it. And then once they start coming up, if you aim at it and press F, and it'll give them a giant wall, basically. Now this wall is different than the other guy's smoke. I guess it's not technically a wall. It's just a vision blocking thing. But the thing about this is if you walk into it as an enemy, it makes noise that you're going through it, so you can tell when someone's going through it. And when they get out of it, it slows them for a second. It's usually a very defensive ability. Usually you just throw them in choke points, and the second they start getting close, you just hit it, and then they're, if they're inside of it, how many are inside of it, you can hear when it's hitting, and if they try to run through it, they get slowed. And finally, his E, which I think is super good. I think a really good Cypher is so annoying to deal with. It's so hard to play against. But his E is called Spy Cam. Fire to place the spy cam at the targeted location. Reuse this ability to take control of the camera's view. While in control of the camera, fire to shoot a marking dart. This dart will reveal the location of any player struck by the dart. So basically what happens is you're able to put a camera on the wall. And like his traps, you can press F to pick it up and you can use it again later. But anyway, this camera is completely invisible to the enemy team while you're not in it. Now, all you have to do, so like, say you want to hold this entire garage area, I could just play this corner. They have no idea I'm here. Press E, and all of a sudden, look at this. I have full vision. Hey, there's me. I shot myself. But the tracking dart, you can aim around, you can shoot it. The tracking dart's not that important, I don't think. Maybe in pubs it'll be important if people don't have good communication, because you'll be able to like say exactly, show exactly where people are. But just having this information, being like, hey, there's 3 people coming through the doorway, or hey, there's nobody here. Like, you can literally just hold this the entire round. Now, it is worth mentioning that when you're inside of it, when you're inside of the camera becomes visible to the enemy team. So also, when you're inside the camera, there's like a giant glow, yellowy, I think it's either yellow or red or blue, but it's very, very obvious where it is. So when you're inside of the camera, like when you're looking through it, they can see this camera very well. And most of the time, if you throw it in a very obvious spot, they just instantly kill it because, like I said, you get so much information from it. But that being said, if you put it in some kind of cool spots where you're able to hold bomb sites or choke points and they don't know about it, then yeah, it also makes noise, so it's pretty hard to hide. But I think it's really good. It's just like another way to get information. It's another outplay. You can leave it in like a choke point and then just never use it until like very, very late in a round, and then just you'll see exactly where they are, or if it's clear. And yeah, it's kind of cool. And then finally, his ultimate, I'm not going to be able to actually show it because I don't have a dead enemy. But what it does, it's called Neural Theft. Instantly used on a dead enemy player in your crosshair to reveal the location of all living enemy players. So this is, again, very supporty. Doesn't do any damage or anything. Basically, when somebody on your team, or if you get a kill on the dead body, there'll be like a little hacker symbol thing. And if you use your alt, it'll show where everybody else is on the enemy team. Now you don't get to see them forever. It kind of pings exactly where they are at that moment. But, obviously, as I'm sure you can imagine, very, very powerful, very, very strong. The enemy team will know that you saw them. Like it says something like uplink transmitting or something. So they'll know that you actually saw where they were. But that being said, it's very powerful. You can use it late in the round. You can use it early in a round. You just get so much information from it. So yeah, I personally really wanted to main this guy, but I feel like I don't know the maps well enough, and I kind of want abilities that have a little bit more aggression to them. So yeah, I definitely played Cypher a lot in this weekend, and I had a lot of fun with them. All right, and our next agent is Jett, and she is a duelist, and the duelist is definitely the pure entry role. We're just gonna go right into her abilities. So she has her C, which is Cloudburst. You can see that it costs 100 here, and you get 3 charges of it. What it does is it instantly throws a projectile that expands into a brief vision blocking cloud on impact with the surface. Hold the ability key to curve the smoke in the direction of your crosshair. So basically, if you just press C once, it'll just throw it like a normal smoke, and it's basically just kind of like a smoke. So it doesn't last very long. It's pretty fast, but it's really good to just like, as you're running in, you can just kind of throw some cool smokes right away and just run in really fast with them. As you'll see from her other abilities, you can see all of her abilities are based around movement and getting in and out of places fast. And then if you hold C down when you throw it, you can kind of control where it goes, which I think is super cool. I wanted to play Jett a lot this weekend, but like I said, I probably only got to play one single game with it because everybody almost always insta-locked Jett. Next is Updraft, and again, you can see here that you get 2 charges of it. The Q costs 200 per charge, and it just instantly propels you into the air. So it adds y-axis to the game that is very hard to come by because not many different agents actually have y-axis capabilities. So again, you can like jump and you just kind of like get a big old boost. You get to like cool places where you couldn't normally get to on other champion or agents. What most people did was link her Q with her E. Her E is Tailwind, instantly propel Jett in the direction she's moving. If she's standing still, she goes forward. This one, you actually only get one charge, but this is one of the only abilities here. You see this, see how there's the two little X's? This means that her signature ability, which again, every agent's E you get at the start of the round, like it recharges. You get to use the E every single round, and it's free. You don't have to buy it. So these access means you don't just this E doesn't recharge over time. This E actually recharges with kills. So if you use E early in a round, the only way you get access to her E again is by getting 2 kills, and you'll notice that the X is like fill in. Like if you get a kill, the X will fill in. So the thing that a lot of people were doing with Jett is that you use your Q to go up in the air, and you use your E to like, so you can like get up on boxes like really fast and from really far. So you Q and then E, and then all of a sudden you're up top of this box. So you'll see in the gameplay, there's a lot of like, a lot of the bomb sites have high boxes that it's not possible to get on unless you're playing Jett or Omen with his teleport. Her ultimate, let's just read it first. It's called Blade Storm. Equip a set of highly accurate throwing knives that recharge on killing an opponent. Fire to throw a single at your target. Alternate to throw all remaining at your target. So basically, this is basically a gun it gives you. And if you headshot, there's no travel time. You just aim for the head. But if you headshot, it's a one-shot kill. And it instantly gives you full knives again. So as long as you actually get a kill with this, you actually can... You'll always have knives. So it's basically, it just gives you a gun. And these if you're close enough and you right click, you'll see like it'll one-shot someone from close range. It's kind of like having a shotgun. Yeah, a lot of people would try to like use her Q, use her E to get right onto you, and then right click you, and you just insta-die, and then she just has 5 more knives. It's also worth mentioning if she, you know, if you use all your knives but one, and then the last knife you get a kill, it'll refill your knives to 5 again. So as long as you actually are getting kills with her, she can always, you know, technically have a gun when she has her knives out.